23, it's over in so many ways. 23-10 the final score. The Browns lose to the Bengals. The two-game winning streak is over, and the Browns are now 5-8 and basically over out of the playoffs, playing out the string. Jason Lloyd from The Athletic is with us, and Jason and I are separated by the distance it was on 4th down and 1 on the Browns' first possession of the game. Mary Kay Cabot's a lot farther away, and she joins us from Cleveland.com. Mary Kay, I'll begin with you. Your questioning of Kevin Stefanski, I thought was right on the button today when you said, hey, a lot of people in town today are upset. They want to run you out of town after that 4th and 1 call. Do you feel at times Kevin gets a little too cute for the Browns' good?
You know, I know so many people had a horrible problem with that 4th and 1 call, but, you know, I didn't have as much of a problem with it as probably most other people did. I think what happened pretty much is the idea was good. I mean, the Bengals, I'm sure, thought that Jacoby was going to sneak that. So the play call, I thought, was fine. The execution just wasn't there. He maybe was a little too hyped up, coming in cold off the bench, and he overthrew the pass. But I don't think the call was all that bad. They could have gone up 7-0 there.
All right, Jason.
Put me in the group that thought it was an awful call. If you want to do that on 3rd down, run it on 3rd down. You leave yourself an out on 4th down. Here's the biggest problem I had with that, Jimmy. They had the wrong personnel on the field. I was watching it through the binoculars. Jacoby comes on the field. Harrison Bryant is trying to come on the field after him, but the Browns already started huddling, and when the position coach pulls him back and sort of shrugs like, all right, well, come on back. They had Farrell Brown out to run a pass route. Obviously, Harrison Bryant is the better tight end there. Does it change the outcome of the play? I don't know. They probably still go to Donovan at the end. But how about having the right personnel on the field for the call? Take a timeout. Get the right guys out there. Take a delay. Kick the field goal. Whatever. At least get the guys out there that you want to have out there. The fact Harrison started a run out, they started a huddle, they couldn't get the right guy on the field. To me, it was a disaster from the start.
All right, let me go back to the first question, though, Mary Kay. Sometimes does Kevin get a little too cute on these gadget plays, whereas it's 4th and 1? I mean, you have so many weapons that could get you the yard. To think of a big play like that, I don't know. The risk-reward was really high.
Well, it definitely was, especially considering that Jacoby usually converts those 4th and 1s just by keeping it and sneaking it like that. But again, I sort of understand the wisdom. I'm sure it's one that Kevin would like to have back, but they really didn't. I don't think that they thought that the Bengals cornerbacks were too good, and they thought they could get away with one there. And I think he just overthrew it. I mean, I don't think that we would be talking about that, of course, if Donovan Peoples-Jones had caught it and the pass was on target. But I do think that it has brought Kevin under a ton of fire. And you're right. I think that needed to be asked of him today because that's all anybody's talking about.
Well, and you did. You asked it of him today. Do you think sometimes they get a little too cute? Let me go back to Halloween night. Okay, Halloween night, when they beat the Bengals, they do the same thing. They're kind of rolling on a drive, and they throw an option pass with Amari Cooper throwing it and turn the ball over.
Yeah, and they were able to laugh and joke about it after the game, and Amari said never again. That was a disaster. But they won the game. I go back to the Houston game. They bring Jacoby in, Harrison Bryant in for the end around on a short yardage play. Sometimes I do think, yes, I think they get too cute. But part of Kevin's really big strength is play calling, misdirection. You think we're going over here, we're going over here. That's what makes him really good. But sometimes I do think that they take it a little bit too far.
Mary Kay, 2 years ago, right about now, 2 years ago, we are going to make the playoffs with a thrilling win over the Steelers, and we're in. And the future is as bright as it's ever been, really, since the Browns have come back in 1999. Now, we're 2 years separated from that. I fear we are drifting the wrong way right now, and it has nothing to do with Deshaun Watson. It has everything to do with all of these young players. I don't know if they're maturing at the level that they need to be a great team, a perennial playoff team. What do you think?
Well, I certainly think that a lot of units on this team will have a lot of scrutiny after the season. I think they will take a long, hard look at the defense, and they will take a long and hard look at the special teams to determine if changes need to be made on those sides of the ball. When it comes to the offense, I think it's too soon to make any bold, sweeping changes or proclamations about anything. Deshaun Watson has only played 2 games. He made great strides from week 1 to week 2, and I think you'll continue to see that kind of progress. And I think everyone, needs to kind of just chill out a little bit and understand that this is all about Deshaun Watson, and that's what the future is.
All right, I cannot chill out. I'm back on coffee. Okay, that's out. I cannot chill out. I'm on coffee again. Are they a smart team? That's what I'm saying. Are they smart enough to play in big games? Yesterday gave me a definitive no.
Defensively, no.
No, they're not.
I don't think they are defensively. We've seen too many boneheaded mistakes. Special teams, they're running into the punter. What are you doing?
Why was that called in the first place?
Kevin said they were trying to put heat on the punter because he was a new punter. He's only had, I think that was his 4th game.
Yeah.
There's a difference in putting heat and an all-out punt block. I don't know what Tony Fields was thinking. That's not a smart play. We've seen Grant Delpit make plays that are just not smart plays.
Right.
I don't think it's a very high IQ defensive unit. I don't know how you fix that in 1 year, but no, I am concerned about that.
You know how you might be able to fix it, Mary Kay, if you believe it needs to be fixed, and obviously I do, is you get maybe some veterans in here to join these young players.
Well, that's certainly one thing that they could do. But as I mentioned before, I think that there are probably a number of players who believe that perhaps schematically or just role-wise, that if some things were different, that they would be playing better. Now, Denzel Ward, we saw Denzel Ward singled up the whole game on Jamar Chase. Should they have given him more help over the top with a safety? Should they have tried Martin Emerson on Jamar Chase? I think sometimes there are things that happen even from a schematic standpoint that need to be looked at.
I do think if they fix the defensive tackle issue, they don't have NFL caliber defensive tackles. If they fix that, a lot of this other stuff gets cleaned up.
Those 2 tackles yesterday for Cincinnati ate them alive.
Very good.
A quick closing thought. It can be Christmas or it can be Browns, Mary Kay. The way the team's playing, I would go Christmas.
Well, they have the Ravens coming in here on Saturday. With potentially a 3rd-string quarterback. And I think the Browns are going to leave it all out there on the field. Even though they really don't have a chance to make the playoffs anymore, there still is about 1%, and that's enough for those guys to give it their all.
All right, you got a closing thought, Mr. Sunshine, as we always like to end with you?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. There you go. All right. Mary Kay and Jason, thanks so much. We'll talk again next week after a Saturday afternoon game against the Ravens. Now, after that game, I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Text them, please, with the phrase, "Hey, Jimmy," to 216-344-3300. Remember, it's a text, not a phone call. Include your name, where you're writing to me from. I'll answer a few of those tomorrow night.